Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday. Paul is still sleeping. I think he's just waking up now, but I am feeling much better, so hopefully I'll be able to get some stuff done today and some editor's notes, I guess. On Saturday I made that Mississippi pot roast, and not only did I use the wrong cut of meat, it was still frozen so it didn't cook, but I forgot the ranch dressing. That's like the best part. So you put, it's 1 pack of gravy mix, 1 pack of ranch, and the stick of butter, and that's it. I forgot it. I'm losing my mind these days, I swear. So after I signed off on that video, it cooked for another 4 hours on low, so it was a total of 8 hours on low. Granted, it was still a little frozen in the middle, and I actually tried a little bit. This is like probably like 11 o'clock at night. It tasted much better. Still, I like the chuck roast versus the brisket cut, but it definitely was a lot better, so it needed much more time. So that redeemed itself. And then in yesterday's video, Matt made his Instant Pot poached eggs. So it was a while ago, maybe a month ago. He tried to make them at 3 minutes and they were way too runny. And he basically did 3 minutes and then, you know, let the pressure off right away. And then yesterday he tried it at 4 minutes and, you know, cut the pressure right away. And they were too done. So maybe this upcoming weekend, we'll try for 3 minutes, and I told him we'll just let it sit in Instapot for like, we'll try 5 minutes first and see, because it will keep cooking. And then, so like what I called it is a natural pressure release for 5 minutes. So we're gonna try that the next time and see if that works better. I don't like poached eggs, so that's all his game. My eggs have to be like completely cooked, and I don't really like the fried egg kind of thing. I eat mine scrambled, hard-boiled, or in an omelet. Fully cooked. That's how I eat my eggs. So he's all on his own with this little poached egg journey, but I thought I would share that. I hear Paul now, so I'm gonna go get him, and then we are going to see what we get into today. Go ahead. Yes. Good morning. So it is now lunchtime, and I am going to do 2 things this afternoon. I'm going to make yogurt like I usually do for Matt for breakfast, and I'm going to finally roast my pie pumpkins. I have 4 of them, but I've roasted them before, so I'm going to use that, and then whatever's left I'm gonna freeze. Also, I'm gonna make yogurt, and I'm gonna make it a little differently than I usually do. We started getting local milk, and I don't think it's ultra pasteurized. I don't usually heat my milk when I make yogurt. I literally just keep like a half a cup of the last batch of yogurt, mix it with a half gallon of milk in the Instapot, and just hit the yogurt button. That's it. I don't heat it to a certain temp at all, and it always worked. We switched milks to this local milk, which I don't think is ultra pasteurized, and it's not thickening. It's getting like buttermilk thickness. So I'm going to try to actually follow the directions and heat it up first, let it cool down. I bought some new freeze-dried enzymes, yogurt starters on Amazon, so I'm gonna try that as well. I ditched my old one. So hopefully this thickens and works. So we're gonna try this today. Okay, if motherhood isn't doing 30,000 things at the same time, I don't know what is. So before I start my yogurt, I'm going to start some pizza for Paul and I to have for lunch, because it's just quick so I can get stuff done. So quick tip for reheating pizza. My favorite way to reheat pizza is, I think my mom is the one who taught me this one. So you just put your pizza on a baking sheet, cold pan. I'm gonna put this in a cold oven, and I'm gonna put my oven at bake for, I think it's $3.75, but I'm not gonna do the preheat. And by the time the your oven is preheated to $3.75, the pizza's done. So I'm gonna get that in. So this is the old yogurt starter that I was using for years from Amazon. You can get this on Amazon, and it worked really, really well, but I am gonna try this starter. It had more ratings, and they actually sell it on Thrive as well. So we're gonna see if this one does the trick. Okay, so I got a little pack of the starter and then some instructions, which I'm reading. And it says, I'm gonna do exactly what it says. So it says to do 1 quart of milk, heat it to 160 degrees Fahrenheit, and then cool to 110. At that point, that's when I'm gonna put it in the Instapot with the starter, mix that around, and saute this in my pot. And this part, I am gonna babysit it because this is whole milk, and I don't want it to do anything funky on the bottom. So I have this on like a medium high. And I have a ways to go, but I'm using my ThermaPen, and yeah, it's at like 50 degrees right now, so we got a little ways to go. And then, okay, so we are getting close here. I know you can't see my thermometer, but it's at 158, 160. Okay, so I'm gonna pull it off. So nothing too crazy here. I've just got a nice clean Instapot insert, and I'm actually, instead of letting it cool down in the pot, I'm gonna let it cool down in the Instapot because that should, in theory, make it go faster. I put it from a warm pan into a cold stainless steel. So I want this now to cool down to 110. So right now, it already cooled down to like 140. So it dropped like 15 degrees. So I'm just gonna let this sit here for a little bit and let it do its thing. And I'm waiting for it to get to 110. So back over to the stove. I just put a mug of milk in here, and then you could certainly make hot cocoa with a mix, but I'm just going to use some Hershey syrup because a McDonald's hack, if you like their hot chocolate, is actually just hot chocolate milk, which is different. It's a different flavor than hot cocoa, but I quite enjoy it and it's easy. So I'm literally just steaming this. Once the milk starts steaming, I'm just gonna pour it in my mug and it's done. So I am just going to then pour this into my mug, and that's good to go. You could top that with whipped cream or marshmallow. Ooh, marshmallow fluff would be good. I haven't had that in forever. So these are my pumpkins that I'm going to be making puree out of today. And I believe these 3 are sugar pumpkins, and this one is a cheese pumpkin. Paul's getting hungry. I'm going to roast them all and puree them all together because it's just for us, so I don't really mind. Are you so hungry, little man? Yeah? You're so hungry. So it really has not been that long. I want to say maybe 15 minutes, and this is already at 109. So I'm going to go ahead and start by just adding that. This is the, what do you call it, like active freeze-dried culture, I guess. So I'm just going to sprinkle this over the top, and then I just whisk it in, just so it's, you know, dissolved. I could have used my wooden spoon from before, but I used that for my hot chocolate, so that's why I have a new utensil. So now you can absolutely put the Instapot lid back on here. I don't know why I do this, it's just something I do. I take a just dinner plate, and I just put one of our cloth dinner napkins. It's my holiday plaid, because it does, you know, get a little moisture on there. I'm trying to get it out of my yogurt, and I just rest that on top. So it's not sealing, so it doesn't have to be, you know, anything fancy. If you had the glass lid for the Instapot, which I don't, you could certainly use that as well. And then all I do is hit right here. It's on mine. It's over here. I hit the yogurt button, and that's it. So mine is 8 hours. I don't know if you can read that. And what's a little weird is it counts up, not down. So just let it do its thing. It's gonna go to 0 and it will count up, and then in 8 hours from now, I'll show you what this looks like.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It's the night of the dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh hear the angel voices, oh night divine, the night when Christ was born, oh night.
So my pumpkin looks really good. Lift it up without making a mess. It's been draining. I would say like a cup of liquid has come out. So that looks really good. We're getting ready to put Paul down. So I'm gonna come back later and portion these out. I'm gonna pull a 1/4 cup of it out for a baby-led weaning recipe for pumpkin French toast sticks for Paul for tomorrow. I'll make that. And then Impossibly Easy Pumpkin Pie by Betty Crocker. Calls for 1 cup, so I'll portion out a cup to do that tomorrow. And then the rest of it I'm just gonna portion out into can size, which is 15 ounces. So I'll weigh out 15 ounces in little Ziploc bags, and then I'll just freeze those for whatever. Most recipes I usually call for a whole can anyway. So that's what I'm gonna do for those. The yogurt still has like 2.5 hours. It's 8 o'clock already. So I have to stay up till that is done. And then I'm just going to put that in the fridge and show you guys what that looks like tomorrow. So nothing exciting there. So let me put the pumpkin away and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.
Divine, oh night divine, led by the light of faith serenely beaming, with glowing hearts by his cradle we stand. So lit by light, our stars sweetly gleaming. Here come the wise men from Orient land. The King of Kings laid thus lowly manger in all our trials, born to be our friend. Oh, fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, the night when Christ was born.